Celebrating 30 years of phenomenal trend forecasting, 5 times a week, Monday through Friday. Here's Gerald Celente with today's trends in the news.
Hi, this is Gerald Celente. It's Wednesday, January 31st, 2018. And here are some of today's trends in the news. On the market fronts over there in Asia, mixed. Over there in Europe, mixed. Here in the States, up a little bit. Oil up a little bit. Gold up a little bit. Bitcoin up a little bit. So what's going on? Well, last night was Trump's State of the Union address. Poof. Man, I couldn't watch the whole thing. I don't know. This guy talked in a tone that I never heard before. Wonder what drugs he was on, man. I'll tell you one thing. It wasn't reefer madness. That cat wasn't high. No, no, no. Anyway, Dow closes up 73 points, capping off best month since March 2016. And what happened? Well, the Fed came out and they said they're going to leave them interest rates unchanged, but everybody really knew that. And again, the economic data keeps coming out pretty strong, according to Moody's Analytics. They said that private companies added 234,000 jobs in January. They expected by the Reuters poll that only 185,000 would be created. And meanwhile, weekly jobless claims remain their lowest in 40 years. So the folks in Slavelandia, they're working on the plantation. Yeah, it's better than a plantation. You don't have to house them. You don't have to feed them. You just give them a little bit of dough. Go on, get out of here. Go on. So they're working because the bigs are getting bigger. And what else do we have here? Well, when you listened and read what Trump said, nobody's really expecting anything different. So remember, the 3 things that he promised during the campaign trail that came true: cut taxes, which he did, that made the rich a lot richer and going to even make them richer. And again, Trump is doing this like what he's always done all his life, and that's take care of himself. He did what he did with the estate tax. When you look at the things that he did, they're all there. They're facts for anybody to look at. It enriches the rich. So he promised to do that, and he promised to deregulate, and he's done that. And now the third leg, and he talked about it last night, is infrastructure improvement, so more dough into the economy. Gold. Well, gold went up a little bit because, well, the Fed didn't raise interest rates, and the dollar's weakening a little bit. But again, gold's had a good run. It's been going up very well. We had, for this month, we've already seen 3.1% gain so far in January. So, again, it all stems on the weakness of the dollar. I keep saying it and will continue to say it. And as I said yesterday, when that market went way down, I said, I don't see this as the beginning of a big correction at all. It's just one of those days, and that's the way it's playing out right now. We don't see it happening minus a wild card or a black swan event, but it will happen at some point. Oil prices, well, they gained a little bit, even though the rig count went up 12 rigs last week, and importantly, they expected a buildup of 100,000 barrels, but 6.8 million barrels of commercial crude stockpiles rose. So again, more supply than demand. This thing, we believe, it's on the markets, on the oil markets, they're near their high. Again, they could go a little bit higher, but not much. The downside risk, as we see it, is greater. Eurozone's fastest growth in a decade fuels talk of steeper cuts to stimulus. That means the euro will go up. And that means the dollar will go down. If the euro gets stronger, that will be good for gold. And again, if the dollar goes up, the dollar gets strong, gold goes down because of the opportunity costs of holding gold. And when interest rates go up, bond yields go up, people go into safer investments. And the bigger story, or his biggest story, is if the dollar gets too strong, these emerging markets and all that debt that's been piled up in dollars that they have to pay back in their currency, boom, these emerging markets submerge really quickly. And that's the kind of black swan event that builds the momentum on a downturn in the global equity markets. And again, what's bringing the markets up? Cheap dough, end of story. Because stock buybacks and, you know the other one, merger and acquisition activity. Blackstone pursues $17 billion data deal. Blackstone, yeah. Nothing more than a, sorry, this isn't a corporation. They're hedge funds, investment companies, and that's been taking over the whole corporate world. They're the ones that are now owning the most, the investors, not businesses. Blackstone is poised for its largest deal since the financial crisis by paying $17.3 billion for controlling stake in the financial terminals and data business of Thomson Reuters, making the powerful U.S. money manager a direct competitor of Bloomberg. Money manager. That's all it is, man. Businesses, they're gone. It's the money managers, the hedge funds, the investment groups that are taking over. SAP buys sales data group Calidas for $2.4 billion. Largest software company in Europe announced its biggest acquisition in nearly 4 years. Again, merger and acquisition activity, this is what's driving up the markets and making the bigs bigger. More wealth consolidation. I do this just about every day. We're reading about this and reporting on it. And how many more times do I have to say it? Big story here in today's Financial Times. Big U.S. companies have repurchased, you ready for this? About $90 billion of shares since the Trump tax reforms were announced. Isn't that great? And S&P 500 companies have spent $1.1 trillion on share repurchase programs over the past 2 years. And what does it do? Boosts the size of the profits for them and what they report and drives the stocks up. It's a simple story. Because you tie it into the other end. The rich get richer, then you put a globalnomic perspective on it. And let's go down to the bottom. McDonald's value plan pays off as cheap burgers boost sale. Oh yeah, cheap burgers. McDonald's kept up its pace of scorching sales growth in the final month of last year, luring frugal consumers with discounted burgers and dollar drinks. Frugal? No, man. Broke. Got no money. 78% are living paycheck to paycheck because the big and the greedy are grabbing it all. Look at this Davos freak show. Look how they applaud the trillionaires and billionaires. Trillionaires meaning the companies. This is supposed to be the people, the elite, that we look up to. The world's biggest burger chain said that global comparable sales rose by 5.5%. Quote, discounting has become a central strategy across many consumer-facing industries as the world's biggest brands grapple with changing shopping tastes and sluggish sales. Nothing to do with changing shopping tastes. People are still eating crap much more than good foods. And McDonald's this month launched a new value menu in the U.S. with items priced at $1, $2, and $3, including cheeseburgers and 4-piece chicken nuggets for $1. Boy, I bet they're really high quality, too. Rival Taco Bell has also this month rolled out a menu offering more than 20 items at $1 each. $1 each, $1 store. $1 is all you make in this country after they rape you of taxes when you got a minimum paying job and all the expenses. You're lucky to have $1 in your pocket. And again, I'm not saying raise the minimum wage. I'm saying spread the wealth and put the laws back in place that prevented it, that those low-life Republicans and Democrats did away with. Beginning with Jimmy Carter and Reagan and Bush and Clinton and Bush and Obama and now Trump. Because consumers can't keep driving the economy. The concern is whether demand will stay strong. Consumer spending has been regularly outpacing income growth. People have no money to save. The jobs stink, and income growth is not even keeping up with real inflation. So, where are we going? And on the Bitcoin front, we saw a little bit of a Bitcoin bounce because part of the good news for the Bitcoiners and other cryptocurrencyers, South Korea does not intend to ban cryptocurrency trading. The country's finance minister said regulating exchanges is the government's immediate task, he said, not closing them down. And last night was Trump's State of the Union. Madonna me. Whew. Whew. Again, man, I don't know what this cat was on, boy. Whew. But it wasn't an upper. So part of what Trump was talking about last night over there in his State of the Union address was war talk. A lot of war talk. Yeah. Oh, he even introduced James Mad Dog Mattis. That's right. General, sir. Yes, sir. I was Defense Secretary, sir. Yep. And look how everybody jumps up and cheers Mad Dog.
Secretary Mattis, who is doing a great job. Thank you.
Aren't they happy? Republicans and Democrats alike. This whole State of the Union was filled with war talk and militarism. And the Democrats are as murderous as the Republicans. And here's what Trump said about our great plans to keep the Afghan war going. Our warriors in Afghanistan also have new rules of engagement, along with their heroic Afghan partners. Our military is no longer undermined by artificial timelines. And we are no longer telling our enemies our plans. You know what that is.
Oh, come on now. That ain't even bullshit. That's horse shit.
It's Trump shit. What timeline? What are you talking about? We're there for over 16 years. Oh, you got a new plan, huh? Little Trump from the New York Military Academy who dodged the Vietnam draft. You're going to keep this going over there? Send your boys, send your girls. Send Jared over there. Go fight and die. Our warriors. Yeah, save it, man. But people buy it. And they love war. And that's all they cheered about in his State of the Union address. And, of course, his other great statement that's going to make America safe. Trump signs executive order to keep Guantanamo open.
To re-examine our military detention policy and to keep open the detention facilities in Guantanamo Bay.
Isn't that great? I'm also asking Congress to ensure that in the fight against ISIS and Al-Qaeda, we continue to have all necessary power to detain terrorists. whenever we chase them down. Hey, Cazzone, has it made a difference yet? Place has still been open. You're no different than the other freak before you, Obama. Yeah, the liar in chief, all you Democrats. You forgot that. The Democrats love war as much as the Republicans. Hey, here's what Obama said on his first day in office back in 2009 about closing Guantanamo.
This first executive order that we are signing by the authority vested in me as President by the Constitution and the laws of the United States of America, in order to effect the appropriate disposition of individuals currently detained by the Department of Defense at Guantanamo, and promptly to close the detention facility at Guantanamo consistent with the national security and foreign policy interests of the United States and the interests of justice, I hereby order. And we then provide the process whereby Guantanamo will be closed no later than 1 year from now.
Hey, 2009, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, still open, still killing, murder across the globe. Americans, when you watch who's running Congress, when you read the polls, how 78% of the Americans support the military and what they're doing and say they're very satisfied with it, it's clear that they love war and hate peace. That's why they won't occupy peace. This is Gerald Celente, and that's some of today's trends in the news.